was a software development engineer on the checkout platform at a UK online marketplace. My team owned the service that reserved inventory and confirmed payment for 140,000 orders a day. After we moved one payment path to a new event-driven workflow, customer support reported duplicate confirmation emails. Our dashboard showed normal availability and payment success, and we had no reliable duplicate order metric because the workflows used different correlation identifiers. This happened on a Friday afternoon, before a weekend promotion. Product wanted to leave the new workflow running because reverting could reduce checkout capacity by 18%. Operations wanted an immediate rollback because a duplicate email might indicate a duplicate charge. I was on call, and the senior engineer was traveling, so I had to recommend a path within 90 minutes. I couldn't prove whether the defect was cosmetic or financial. My objective was to protect customers from duplicate charges while keeping enough capacity. I made the uncertainty explicit. I wrote 3 hypotheses. The notification consumer was replaying events, the order service was creating duplicates, or delayed emails made normal confirmations appear duplicated. I defined the irreversible harm as charging a customer twice. That made the capacity loss from a rollback secondary. I considered 3 options. We could continue unchanged while gathering data, fully revert to the old workflow, or isolate the risky notification and payment retry components while retaining the new inventory path. Continuing gave us the best capacity but exposed customers. A full rollback was safest for payments, but our load test showed the old reservation path could saturate during the promotion. Partial isolation added operational complexity, but it limited the suspected failure while preserving most of our capacity. To replace the missing telemetry with evidence, I sampled 120 affected orders from support tickets and manually joined gateway transaction IDs, order IDs, and email timestamps. I found 11 repeated emails but no repeated gateway transaction. That weakened the duplicate charge hypothesis, although the sample was too small to dismiss it. I asked the payments engineer to challenge my reasoning. She pointed out that an idempotency key was generated before a retry branch, so a rare timeout could still create a second authorization even if our order table looked normal. That changed my initial preference from monitoring to partial isolation. I proposed disabling automatic payment retries in the new path, pausing its notification consumer, and sending confirmations from the established workflow. I created a feature flag plan with a 1-command rollback, asked operations to watch gateway authorizations, and added a temporary query comparing customer, amount, and 5-minute transaction windows every 2 minutes. I set the thresholds before acting. Any probable duplicate authorization would trigger a full rollback. Checkout latency above 1.8 seconds for 10 minutes would restore only the inventory path. Product challenged the likely increase in failed checkouts. I quantified the trade-off using the previous promotion. Disabling retries could cost about 0.6 percentage points of conversion, while even a small number of duplicate charges would create direct customer harm. I made the recommendation, the engineering manager approved the control change, and I deployed it behind the flags. I watched the first 30 minutes and documented the decision and remaining uncertainty for the weekend team. The promotion processed 176,000 orders. Checkout success was 0.4 percentage points below forecast, but latency stayed under 1.5 seconds and the temporary query found no duplicate authorizations. On Monday, tracing showed the notification consumer had acknowledged messages after sending, so a timeout caused replayed emails. My decision was correct because it contained the plausible customer harm without sacrificing the capacity we needed. It wasn't cost-free. Roughly 700 additional customers had to retry payment, and the evidence showed that disabling payment retries had been more conservative than necessary. I then added a shared correlation ID, a duplicate authorization alarm, and a send-before-ACK integration test. The main thing I learned was that when data is incomplete, I should define the irreversible harm first and choose a reversible path with explicit thresholds, rather than treating the most likely hypothesis as if it were proven.